Assalamualaikum.
Assalamualaikum.
And thank you so much for your time as well. It's 5 a.m. in fact. So
Early riser.
This car itself, the Evo X. Honestly, at first when it first came out, I believe Shobai in general একটু upset ছিল with the design and whatnot, because people felt that it wasn't as raw as the older Evo 7, 8 and 9s. আপনার কি feedback and how's your experience till now with this Evo X?
Acha. So Evo X is with me for about 2 years. So my experience with the 4B platform is 2 years. 4G63 is almost now 9 years.
Wow.
So এটাতে experience একটু কম. And I think honestly people hated this car because of two reasons. One is, for the first time, Mitsubishi switched to aluminum blocks. এর আগে তো সব cast iron ছিল. So the initial thought for everyone was aluminum block-এ এত tune করে horsepower করা যাবে নাকি, God knows. Because aluminum blocks are usually, all the regular cars come with it, like Corollas and stuff. It will break. Also, it's not a semi-open block. Water jackets আছে পিস্টনের পাশে, so যেটা 4G63 is famous for a semi-open deck. You can close the deck as well. Unlimited power.
Nice one.
So এটাতে ওটা অনেকেই চিন্তা করছে হয়তো হবে না, so that was one thing. Second was the weight. This car is a little heavy. There's no getting around it. This is a little heavy compared to the 9. So that's the bad part, but the good part is I think this car was launched in 2008 most likely, if I remember correctly. So fast forward all these years, this block is crazy. So honestly, I've seen builds অনেক জায়গাতে pushing 800 plus wheel horsepower just on this stock block. So I don't think that's a problem. Right now I'm doing close to about 480 wheels. Target is about 550-ish. So I don't see any problem at all. Goes like a champ. Honestly, এটার ভিতরে যদিও water jackets আছে পিস্টনের চারপাশে, but the bracing is amazing. So I don't think, again, so I'm going to be a little controversial on most of the topics.
Please,
like বাংলাদেশে যেগুলো সবাই করে আমি করি না অনেকগুলো, because I read up on stuff and I like experimenting stuff. So whenever I feel like this might work, so I just try it out. So আমার কাছে যেটা মনে হচ্ছে, looking after a lot of online stuff, যে if this block can take 800 wheel horsepower, I don't want to board the block. And সবাই যেটা করে ডার্টনের একটা স্লিভ লাগায় সবার আগে cast ironer to make the block more rigid, but I think honestly that's over 1,000 horses. মানে my game is always 500-600 wheel horsepower. I think that's the sweet spot for Evo. Honestly, 400 wheel is the very sweet spot. 500 is pushing it because a lot of the drivetrain stuff breaks. When we talk about the 9, I'll be cribbing about that a lot. But yeah, so 10A, honestly, I think without the weight, the weight is a little bulky, honestly. Can't no way around it. But the engine, I love it. Honestly, 9 এর সাথে compare করলে there's not too many problems. Pros যদি বলি, 4B head is amazing. Flows a lot better. আমার এটাতে আমি এখন stock head-এ আছি with the Tomei pon cams. But 9 আমার কিন্তু হেডে কাজ করতে হয়েছে। হেড গেমসের থেকে আমার পুরো হেডে কাজ করে, পকেট পড়ার হেড কাজ করা। So after that gained almost 50 wheels হেডে কাজ করার পরে। So 4G63 প্ল্যাটফর্মে head work লাগবে। It's a little expensive. Head work will cost you about $1,000 to $1,500 depending on what you're looking for. But এটা stock head I believe is good enough. So ওখানে কিছু savings আছে। Yeah, so in my opinion, I think that's the 4B platform.
Right.
Yeah, but
and in terms of like driving characteristics, is the Evo X more refined than the Evo 9, or is it more as an easier to drive daily kora, easier comparatively?
So first of all, I think the 10 is of course more refined in terms of sound insulation. যদিও this car drones like hell. I have a 3.5-inch exhaust. But on
extremely sorry for the external noise, but
yeah, tuned cars, no way around it. So usually the 4B and the 10 platform is very quiet, and driving in terms of braking, straight line speed, I think is a bit more refined. But 9, I think 8 আমি খুব বেশি চালাই নাই, কিছু ফ্রেন্ডসের গাড়ি চালাইছি, বাট 9 I have extensive experience of driving for the last 9+ years. আমার মনে হয় যদি আমি খুব একটা অ্যাপ্টলি একটা কিছুর সাথে কানেক্ট করতে চাই as a scenario, 9 is more of a scalpel, like doctor's a scalpel knife, and 10 is more of a normal knife that we use to, do our regular stuff. 9, I think, is a bit more sharper. Since it's lighter, like turns and একটু মানে বেশি গাড়ি নিয়ে সবাই যেটা করে, although I don't do too many stunts with cars, ওইটাতে আমার কাছে মনে হয় 9 is more grounded. But 10 straight line is much more assuring. Like if you're cruising at even 120 থেকে শুরু করে 200 পর্যন্ত, you feel like you're going less. Like if you're doing 200, for example, you feel like you're doing maybe 120-ish.
Got it.
Whereas the 9, if you're doing 150, you feel like you're doing 180-ish. So ওই দিক থেকে that's the main difference. But yeah, I think cornering a more assuring 9.
Okay.
10 is a little bit bulky. But yeah, that's my take on it.
Got it. Well, like you mentioned, this is currently pushing around 480 wheels.
480 wheel horsepower, yeah.
So, এমনি তো extra কি mods and tuning করা হয়েছে for it to be pushing?
Oh my God, this section will be 20 hours long. So both my cars have thousands of stuff.
Just a few mention for this one.
আচ্ছা দেখি কি মনে আছে দেখি বলতে পারি নাকি। সো ইনটেক থেকে শুরু করি, মানে শুরু থেকে এক্সস্ট দিয়ে বার হবো না হয়। সো
নো প্রবলেম।
HKS এর ইনটেক সিস্টেম লাগানো আছে। I love HKS stuff. খুব ভালো, রিলায়েবল and well designed. হেড নর্মাল, ওয়ারিং টাক ইন কিট লাগানো আছে, ওটা খানিকটা আমি নিজে বানিয়েছিও। আই হেট দ্য ওয়ারিং যেভাবে স্টক থাকে তোমার 10 গাড়িতে, সো ডোন্ট লাইক ইট দ্যাট মাচ। এর বাইরে ক্যাম্পস লাগানো ঠোমে, গাড়িতে ইনটেক ম্যানিফোল্ড চেঞ্জ করা। ইটস এ প্লাজমা ম্যানের ইনটেক ম্যানিফোল্ড, অনেক কষ্ট হয়েছে লাগাইতে। ইট ওয়াজ এ 1.5 day job. Lot of mods needed to be done. যদিও প্লাজমা ম্যান ক্লেম করে যে you can just slap it on. Not the case, I can assure you, especially intake পাইপ আমার কাজ করতে হয়েছে। ইনটেক থ্রটল পাল্টানো, আমার থ্রটলটা ইজ এ স্টক থ্রটল বাট বোর করা। That's made by June, Japan থেকে আনা ওইটা। So that's intake গেল, cam গেল। Turbo obviously is it's a Blouch 3.0 XTR. I still feel like I wanna go 2.0.
Okay.
Yeah, so I wanna go 2.0 আমার সবসময় মনে হয়, but 3.0 I wanted to try. My 9 is on a Blouch 2.0. Love that. I wanted to hit about 600 with this, so got one size bigger, but a little bit regretting it. I might go down the line on a 2.0 because I don't think it will hit 600 with this turbo, but দেখা যাক, এখনো haven't lost hope. Exhaust, Arctic এর ডাম্প লাগানো, ফ্রন্ট পাইপ লাগানো, exhaust manifold Arctic এর as well. আর ফ্রন্ট পাইপের পর থেকে rest of the way, all the way till the end, it's a 3.5 inch exhaust till the Y pipe, because 10 obviously there's a dual exhaust, there's a split. So splitter ওখান থেকে is a 3 inch afterwards, তার আগে 3.5 inch. In terms of obviously tuning এর জন্য 3-port লাগে, so there's a 3-port installed, grim split. এই তো, I think that's the way. Fuel system fully upgraded. It's all radium parts. I do run ethanol 25% usually, so quite a pipe change করতে হয়েছে। I want to give a tip to everyone who plans on running ethanol. Ethanol কিন্তু is highly corrosive. So newer cars usually have plastic fuel tanks. Use ethanol the way you like it, no problem. These dinosaur cars all have like aluminum tanks, I think. I'm not sure what it's made of, aluminum or something. Rusts like crazy if you use ethanol.
Right.
So you have to use a fuel conditioner. There's no way around it. ওটা ছাড়া ইউজ করলে you just go through tanks every 2 years.
Right.
Clogging a fuel pump with rust is no fun at all. I use a Stable. I get it from the US, Stable 360. Bangladesho, Revnol, অনেক কিছু পাওয়া যায়. Just source one. If you're ever using ethanol, don't use it without giving a fuel stabilizer. Tanks will go. Yeah, so I think that's on the short side. And obviously on the tuning side, it's a stock ECU, econo. I love the 10 ECU. So once we go do the pros and cons section, I'll give a lecture on that.
Sure.
But yeah, it's a 10 ECU, but I want a Tefra mod X3, self-tuned. 9-এর পুরাটা শিখছিলাম অনেক ভিডিও দেখে দেখে।
আচ্ছা আচ্ছা
10 প্ল্যাটফর্মে অনেক ইজিয়ার, it's 80% same with a lot more features. So yeah, so that's sort of the mods in the car.
Right.
There are a lot more things আমার এখন হয়তো মনে পড়ছে না, but I
No,
think
but
in
it's okay.
general,
Thank you
in
so
general,
much.
these are the main stuff.
জি 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 no issues at all. But in general, is it a bit easier to maintain in the Evo 9 platform, or is it quite similar to the 9? Or it depends on how the work is done?
I think 9 and 10 maintenance is very similar.
Okay.
খুব বেশি একটা আমাকে ডিস্টার্ব করে নাই 9, unlike a lot of other people I know. Maybe because I don't drive like a maniac for hours and long. I do drive the car very hard every day, 365 days a year, but for a short span of time. I get out at 5 o'clock in the morning, 15 minutes maybe, I get a few logs and go home. So আমার খুব একটা আসলে প্রবলেম হয়নি, I'll be very honest. However, that being said, this car is I think 2008-9 model. Evo 9 আমার যেটা আছে, I think it's a 2006 model.
Right.
2-3 years older, and tech on this car in terms of wiring থেকে শুরু করে ECU TCU is much more upgraded. It's more newer version that we are used to.
Right.
9 is more the heritage coming from 5, 6, 7, 8. অনেক পুরান parts আছে.
জি
So since they're designed very old and pretty old parts tend to go, but I think that's more age related than stress related. So ওই দিক থেকে 9-এর ইনিশিয়াল স্টেজে যারা যদি কেউ কিনে বিল্ড করতে থাকে, বেশ কিছু পার্টসে কাজ করতে হবে. Especially I'll give a couple of tips. Fuel line, especially if you're using a bigger fuel pump. Both my cars have 5 to 5 liter pumps, Walbro. So ওটা rewiring লাগে. 10-এর rewiring is optional. Very good wires from the factory. In fact, I am running a dual voltage without a rewire right now. Only আমার relay লাগানো আছে. But 9 I had to do a complete rewire. Still dual voltage. Again, controversial. I never go into single voltage. I think that's a whole lot of crap. You can never tune cruiser থেকে যখন water transition হয়, car will go pig rich. Without a dual voltage, you cannot control it. At least I haven't been. So anybody who says, boss, just run the pump at 14.7 volt, shop dilitile falai then Mitsubishi can lagaise ami jani na. I think that's not right. At least from a tuner perspective, I haven't been able to control it.
Right.
From a cruise to watt, gale gari just dips to 10 AFR. So Mitsu did a very nice trick with the dual voltage, I think. So yeah. So I think end of the day, Dinesh said similar.
Right.
Very similar maintenance. 9 একটু older car দেখে কয়েকটা জায়গাতে একটু এক্সট্রা কাজ করে নিতে হবে শুরুর দিকে, but once you have done it, I think you're fine.
And so আমরা যদি 3 pros and 3 cons নিয়ে কিছু বলতে পারি, এটা আপনি চাইলে Evo 9 এর সাথে কম্পেয়ার করে বলতে পারেন, or just this car in general, up to you.
আচ্ছা, cons দিয়ে শুরু করব. Obviously both common for 9 and 10.
জি
I hate the turning radius. I think everybody will agree.
Every escape bomber
10-15% improvement. But horrible turning radius. You can never turn একবারে 2-3 বার করে গাড়ি ঘোরাতে হয়. That's a horrible feeling on the road.
জি
Especially people who don't know Evos.
হ্যাঁ
They just what গাড়ি চালাতে পারে না.
honking and thinking.
Yeah, so that's number one con, I think, for both the cars. Number two is the drivetrain, especially more on the 9, less on the 10. Drivetrain keeps on breaking, especially if you're on a manual gear. I hate manual gear with a passion, so portable button here again, controversial. People will galify me for this, but anyways, drivetrains go. Once you've crossed 400-450 wheels, ভাঙতে থাকে সমানে. 10 is much more in terms of front diff, rear diff, সব দিক থেকে চিন্তা করলে much better, more robust. 9 is just rear diff, especially if you have AYC, সারাদিন ভাঙে. So I had to buy a lot of gear and pinion. এটা আমার PhD করতে হয়েছে ultimately, short pinning and whatnot. So সবকিছু করে এখন মোটামুটি alhamdulillah 9 এর last 1.5 year কিছু ভাঙে নেই. But yeah, so that's the second crib. Why Mitsubishi could not go for a better diff? I guess just to defend them, they've designed a car for 200 wheel horsepower.
Right.
They're going 500 plus, so it wasn't engineered to hold that much power. But yeah, could have been well designed, to be very honest. 10 is better. 10 is better. But again, sensible driving is required, especially manual gear. Bhangte pare 10. It's not unbreakable. Number 3 is more, I would say, for the 9, less for the 10. 9 ECU is very limited. Although I'm still running the stock ECU, 10 ECU is we'll go to the pros. Fantastic ECU. 1024 kilometer ROM আছে, so lots of space. The Tefra X3 is wonderful. Honestly, 9 আমি জীবনও কোনোদিন aftermarket ইস্যুতে যাব না. I will also recommend people not to spend money there. মানে other than rolling anti-lag, I think everything else is set on the 10 ECU. Blindingly fast. You can log a lot of data. আর সব কিছু করা যায়, individual cylinder fuelingও করা যায় on the 10 ECU. So আর কিছু লাগে না, but 9A is very limited. In fact, 9A logging speed is also slow. I can't log more than 20, not 20, I would say 16 to 18 parameters. এর বেশি log করলে log becomes slow. Honestly, ওখান থেকে data দেখে কিছু একটা টিউন করা যায় না. So ECU is very limited for the 9. 10 will go to the pros.
Right.
Our pros এর দিকে যদি আসি, like I said, the 10 obviously is one of the best ECUs that I have tuned.
Right.
9A maybe aftermarket Java is wise, although I'm on stock. I do have a link unit, so কাজের ফাঁকে সময় পেলে at some point I will try to go aftermarket at some point, hopefully. বাকি pros এর মধ্যে obviously both the cars can take a lot of boost. Both my cars run at 33 psi, 9 tapers to 33.4 to be honest, because beyond that I have to switch to a 4-bar, which I hate. Please mark. Omni 4-bar, whoever has bought, সারা জীবন রাস্তায় গাড়ি নিয়ে আটকাইছে. And shout out to Anas, ওর গাড়ি কালকে রাতে খারাপ হয়েছে.
Oh my god.
So everybody রাস্তার মধ্যে গাড়ি নিয়ে দাঁড়ায় থাকলে Evo নিয়ে, if you see half the time it's Omni 4-bar. It's a question of when, not a question of if. নষ্ট হবেই. So I always stick with the stock 3-bar, 3.2 bar, the stock JDM comes on. 5-bar is amazing as well. If you go AEM unit, 5-bar, Zaire uses it. আমার ওটা কেনা ছিল, so I recommended, পরে Zaire কিনে লাগাইছে, and he's loving it. So far I think 2 years plus কিছু হয় নাই. My plan is when I get unlazy, I'll install that in my car, but stay away from the 4-bar.
Right.
So it takes a lot of boost. Going back to the original point, takes a lot of boost. That's one pro.
We can do a short pull if possible.
Yeah, of course. Let me just.
Sorry, I mean just
No problem at all.
I wanted to.
Yeah. This car will, I think, do 260-ish in less than 10 seconds from where we're starting. So, yeah.
Something
About draggy, yes, I can do a draggy shot for you actually. I can
Sure,
go get a draggy.
inshallah.
But,
sorry, I mean just active feedback there about the pull itself.
Yeah, sure.
I've been Allah Rahman to a lot of people. Obviously, আপনার মতো না, probably after 5-10%. But this felt so refined. Man, it's extremely flat.
Yeah, we did 210. I don't think you realized it.
Nah, exactly. But আপনি যেটা একটু আগে বলছেন, the speed বোঝা যায় না. This is a perfect.
Yeah, 10 বোঝা যায় না. 9 you'll feel it. 9 you'll feel it.
Wow, and the SST as well.
Just মজার জিনিস তোমাকে দেখাই দেখো.
Please.
This is also refined. Although তো ক্যামেরাতে আসবে নাকি জানি না. Look at the mileage we're getting right now.
Oh wow, 7.5. That's the highest
Like
I've
a Corolla.
ever seen.
So I mean, like I said, why I like 5 to 600
Oh
horsepower
my
cars,
God.
because I really love the car to be driving like a normal car.
Got it.
Other than the drone, this feels like you're driving a normal car.
Sure.
So
Wow.
and good mileage. But
Absolutely.
Evo, so that's the second part I will say.
Please.
Nobody will believe me on this, but I will say the pros. Both the 63 and the 63 with a manual gear is more efficient. This is a little bit less efficient for the SST.
Okay.
But bro, mileage is insane. Nobody will believe me on this. Evo car is the mileage what? Yeah. But honestly, Evo the mileage is extremely good if you don't boost. Like both
Right.
my cars get at least 6.5 to 7. Yeah. So extremely good mileage.
That's very hard to believe. I'm sorry to say, but
Again, like I said, dual voltage, don't get rid of it. And if you're a self-tuner, that's all good. But if you're tuned by someone, get after his life to keep his noise ratio 14.7 when you're cruising, and transition. I'm like a very slow tuner. I mean, 5 বছর ধরে গাড়ি টিউন করি, but I'm very anal when it comes to like transition fueling and all. অনেকে যেটা করে ওয়াট করার সময় বা মিডিয়াম বুস্টে 2-3-4 psi বুস্টে they dump a lot of fuel. তখন just cars just go full inefficient. So I think that's another pro. I think very fuel efficient engines. The Japanese technology কেউ বিশ্বাস করবে না, but I'll you can take a picture of this later on maybe.
Please, absolutely.
Number 3, I would say, is other than a few parts, যেমন AYC pump is blindingly expensive.
Okay.
When it comes to turbo, if you break one, it's very expensive, and of course overhauling is expensive, but otherwise parts are pretty cheap. Both the 9 and the 10, if you can buy the parts, Japan থেকে বা America থেকে যেখানে, মানে unless the shipping and freight is crazy expensive, buying the parts is not very expensive. So maintaining these cars is not very expensive. So yeah, that's at least my experience. Yeah, I've broken a few parts,
Right.
like gearboxes, especially diff to the pura diff kintu if you're not buying the parts is bloody expensive, and it's getting extremely rare, especially for the 9 parts as well. এখন তো পাওয়াই যায় না, half the things is like not in production anymore. But yeah, so I think a fuel economy is good, parts is okay if you don't break a few critical parts, and the engine takes a lot of boost. I think both the cars 33.4 psi. This car runs more or less flat 31 psi till 7.5. Turbo has a space. I plan on run 33 psi flat on this, but like I said, I'm a very slow tuner. কাজ করছি এখনো. The 9 has a smaller turbo, 33.4 psi peak till 6,500. I tapered down to 31 psi on the 9 and 7.5 because the turbo is out of breath. But yeah. So that's, I think, the sort of pros and cons for these cars.
Just আমার আরেকটা ছিল, I was just wondering, অনেকজনের কমপ্লেইন ছিল about the SSD gearbox, because আপনি obviously জানেন কেন SSD সব কমপ্লেইন ছিল, but what is your feedback on the SSD as compared to the manual?
Right, so একটু যদি আমার, মানে আমি তো অনেক ওয়ার্কশপে কাজ করছি, যেটা ওয়ার্কশপ ব্যাকগ্রাউন্ড দিয়ে শুরু করি।
Please.
So I've been working on a lot of German cars আগে। এখন আর আমাদের ওয়ার্কশপে জায়গা নাই দেখে একদমই অ্যাপয়েন্টমেন্ট ছাড়া গাড়ি আসে না। We work mostly on Honda cars, a few Mitsubishis, but আগে মাঝখানে যখন ওয়ার্কশপ খালি থাকতো, we used to work on a lot of Audis, BMWs. So those companies have dual clutch for ages, like 30-40 years. So ওদের যে প্রবলেম, এই গাড়িতেও কিন্তু সিমিলার প্রবলেম. So the dual clutch gearbox is usually not designed to take a lot of abuse. So if you're on stock power, and if you take care of the gearbox, change fluid regularly, and please do follow the user manual to change fluid. বাংলাদেশে blindingly অনেক জায়গায় যে fluid change করে, ঠিক না। এই গাড়ির কিন্তু fluid level ঠিক থাকার উপরে অনেক কোডস আসে। So fuel refill, oil levelটা রিফিল করার there is a particular procedure, and initial যে ম্যানুয়ালটা আমরা ডাউনলোড করি EvoScan ওয়েবসাইট থেকে, there is a revision for that. Do remember, ওটা কিন্তু EvoScan ওয়েবসাইটে না, ওটা আলাদা করে ডাউনলোড করতে হয়. So refill the gearbox as per the procedure, and yearly once or 2 years একবার করলে I think is more than enough. Don't waste money every 3 months on changing fluids. More or less unbreakable if you're on stock power. কিচ্ছু হবে না SSD, I can assure you. But dual clutch is a consumable part. Just like ভেসেল সারাদিন নষ্ট হচ্ছে, dual clutch, it's because ভেসেল কিন্তু 5 বছর চলে আসছে জাপানে। ঢাকায় এসে আমরা মনে করি একটা রিকন গাড়ি কিনলাম, ওটা তো ব্র্যান্ড নিউ গাড়ি। No, it's got mileage on it. So 6-7 বছর পরে কিন্তু dual clutch চেঞ্জ করতে হবে because it's a consumable part. Unlike CVT, if you do maintain it, most likely জীবনে চেঞ্জ করতে হবে because CVT runs on fluids. ওখানে কিন্তু টর্ক কন্ট্রোলের ভিতরে লিটারালি দুইটা কোনো পার্ট টাচ করেন একটার সাথে, whereas dual clutch is wearable item. So 5-6 বছর চেঞ্জ করতেই হবে, but if your car is well maintained, more or less unbreakable, and if you're coming on increasing power, I would say, মানে ইভেন যদি স্টকের থেকে 2-3 PSI বেশি আমরা বুস্ট রান করি, you have to look into the clutch. There's no two way around it. এটা একটা SSD এর প্রবলেম আছে, মানে if you want to increase power, you have to invest a lot of money. The clutch, I'm running a Dodson clutch. Dodson uses all XCD plates, so XCD 12 plate clutch lagano. I wanted to get the 10 plate. 12 plate is a little too extreme. There's a slight jerk on the gear shifts. I'm sure you can feel that. 10 would have been ekdom stocker moto, but stock e chilo na unfortunately Cosmic er kache. By the way, shout out to Cosmic, best company on the planet. They do hold the world record right now for the SSD. Onek jos. Or আমার সাথে অনেক পার্সোনালি কাজ করছে। ইনফ্যাক্ট আমার dual clutch usually just buy the plates সব আলাদা করে assemble করতে হয়, but I requested them to আমার জন্য assemble করার জন্য. I think they charged about $125, but assemble the dual clutch for me, made my life easy. Changing a dual clutch will take you 1 hour I think. গাড়ি নামানো মিলা is very easy to do.
জি।
So yeah, so dual clutch লাগবে আর দুইটা জিনিস আমি সবাইকে recommend করব যদি if somebody even on a stock transmission really plans on pushing the car like a rally car, drive safe. I don't promote crazy driving but বাংলাদেশে অনেকে করে। হিট এক্সচেঞ্জার একটা লাগানো উচিত। হিট এক্সচেঞ্জার যেটা আছে আমাদের দেশে কিন্তু ডুয়াল ক্লাচ বেশিরভাগ সময় অনেকে মনে করে যে ওভারহিট হয়ে খারাপ হয়, ইটস দ্য অপোজিট। অনেক সময় ঠান্ডা হয়ে যায় ক্লাচ বেশি। ইফ ইউর রানিং অ্যাট এ লাইক 120 130 অন এ উইন্টার ডে অনেকক্ষণ ধরে, দ্য ক্লাচ ফ্লুইড অ্যাকচুয়ালি কামস ডাউন খানিকটা। যদি ক্রুজ করি অবভিয়াসলি টানলে তো গরম হবেই। অর ইফ ইউর বাসা থেকে বার হয়ে ইভেন 10-15 মিনিট পরও গাড়ি যখন ফুল টেম্প চলে আসছে, ইভেন দেন দ্য ক্লাচ ফ্লুইড টেম্প ডাজ নট গো আপ। সো ওই সময় দ্য হিট এক্সচেঞ্জার যেটা করে রেডিয়েটর থেকে পানি দিয়ে ওই পুরো অ্যাসেম্বলিটাকে গরম করে ভেরি কুইকলি, সো ক্লাচ ফ্লুইড টেম্প চলে আসে উপরে, অ্যান্ড ওয়ান্স ইট অ্যাট অপারেটিং টেম্প ওটা বন্ধ করে দেয় পানি আসা ওখানে। সো ইট রিমেইনস অ্যাট দ্যাট। So heat exchanger is, I would recommend everybody to get one. Unfortunately expensive, $700+. And also get a good cooler for the fluid. Not needed for below 350 horsepower cars, wheel horsepower cars. Going above, get a good, very good aftermarket system. অনেকেই বানায়, আমারটা AM লাগানো আছে with active fan setup, cooling setup. I think active setup is very important. ওটা কোনো gearboxের ফ্লুইডের যারা বানায় কিট ওটার সাথে দেয় না, you have to buy it separately. Pro tip for this, বাংলাদেশে যতগুলো অ্যাক্টিভ পাম্প দেখেছি একটা সুইচ লাগায় খুব বাজেভাবে, এখানে কেটে মেটে একটা সুইচ কোথাও গাড়িতে লাগায়, যেটা পিপল জাস্ট সুইচ অন করে করেন। হাফ দ্য টাইম ইফ ইউ ড্রাইভিং হার্ড ইউ ডোন্ট রিমেম্বার টু টার্ন ইট অন। গেট আ থার্মোস্ট্যাট। ওয়েবসাইটের নামটা মনে পড়লে বলে দিব, জাস্ট পুট আ লিংক দেয়ার। ইউ ক্যান বাই আ থার্মোস্ট্যাট ইনলাইন, অয়েল লাইনের সাথে লাগানো, মানে অয়েল গিয়ার অয়েলের সাথে লাগানো থাকবে। আমারটা টার্নস অন at 86 degrees Celsius. Once it reaches that, automatically আসবে। And I've got a very nice hack. When my fan comes on, আমার সিগারেট লাইটারের এই জায়গাতে এই রিংটা যে আছে yellow color, this lights up. So I know my fan is on when that lights up. So still see we're cruising and একটা pull করলাম hard, my gear temp is still not that crazy. Fan on হয়নি। So yeah, so active cooling is very necessary for the car. So SST দিয়ে, in short, it doesn't break if you're in stock horsepower with regular maintenance. Pushing very hard, get heat exchanger and a cooler. But if you're going beyond even like 50 wheel horsepower বেশি যদি exceed করি or even less, you have to go aftermarket clutch. Very expensive. $2,500 থেকে $3,500. So heat exchange, oil cooler, clutch, you're looking at 10 lakh টাকা easy. So SST game এ প্রবলেম হচ্ছে if you go higher horsepower you have to spend a lot of money. So এটা করে না কেউ, সবাই জাস্ট একটু টিউনিং করে বুস্ট বাড়ায় নেয়, গাড়ি নিয়ে রাস্তায় দূরে টান দিয়ে, oh my god my clutch is gone, the SST is bad. Not like that. SST is not designed to take abuse. Manual gear it is designed to take a lot of abuse. SST is not, simply not. Just যেটা স্টক ফ্যাক্টরি থেকে আছে ওটাই নিতে পারবে। That's about it.
And but এমনি তো I feel like the car is perfect right now. But এমনি তো any future plans?
Yes, in terms of জিনিসপত্র ইনস্টলেশন অলমোস্ট সব করা হয়ে গেছে। Even I have a lot of suspension mods বলতে ভুলে গেছি by the way. Cusco coilovers, অনেক ব্রেসিংস লাগানো আছে mostly from Bitrush or Cusco. So future mods এর মধ্যে খুব বেশি এই গাড়িতে আসলে কাজ করার কিছু নাই। I think I might downsize the turbo. যদি দেখি turbo নিয়ে I can hit 550-ish. I will stay with this. Otherwise, I might try a Blouch 1.0 XTR or a 2.0 XTR. Sorry, not 1.0, or a FP Red. Both are nice units. But এছাড়া আমার মনে হয় in terms of mod wise, এই গাড়িতে like with my 7 years tinkering of 9, I knew exactly what to get. সব একবারে অর্ডার করে কিনে আনছিলাম। Almost 30 lakhs for the parts লাগানো আছে গাড়িতে। But SST is a more expensive game. Honestly, like the 9, I think 20-25 lakhs worth of parts আছে, but extra 10 lakhs for the SST. But like I said, SST you just do this and you press and you go. You don't have to worry. You take the manual gear, you can't go like this. This is gonna pull like crazy. And gear shifts are you're gaining each gear shift 0.3 to 0.4 seconds. Because manual gear, even if you're insane like Zairan Tahmid, who shifts at 0.4 seconds, I'm at 0.5 bhai bura manush. But this shifts in like 0.1, 0.2 seconds. So you're gaining 0.4 seconds on each shift.
Every shift.
So on a racing scenario, in 4 shifts, that's 10 car length. So I initially said I hate manual gear. 2 reasons. Everything breaks, no matter how good of a shifter you are. Zahir can vouch for that. 4 gearbox bhangsan porjonto. And he's a good driver. He doesn't break because he's shifting bad.
Right.
But bhange, there's nothing you can do. Hotat kore je engage kore gear ta every gear shifter for a powerful car. There's no way around it unless you're going for a straight cut dog box, which chalano is horrible experience. I will never do that for my car. So that's why I don't like the manual gears. Power nite onek koshto hoy and slow shifts. Driving manual is fine. I don't mind driving the car. I do have a lot of trick clutches in my car. I'll say about the Evo IX segment.
Please.
My car, you can drive. Anybody can drive on a manual gear. It's very easy to drive, and the clutch you can actually press with your thumb, not with your foot. It's that stocket thekeo softer.
Wow.
So my philosophy is always like this: the car has to be very drivable. So yeah, that's why I hate manual gear. But SST, unfortunately, you have to spend a lot of money.
To get it.
No way around it. So yeah, that's my take on it.
Nice. Thank you so much, Fab. But honestly, what a car, mashallah. It's very hard to get the Evo right for a lot of people. And actually, thanks to you as well, people are able to get the actual feel and potential out of the Evos. So thanks to
my always tip is always run after drivability of a car. Don't chase horsepower. Horsepower এমনি আসবে।
জি।
So সবাই যেটা করে বড় টার্বো লাগে, I want a lot of power, I want to drive the car, সবার মধ্যে আছে। So এটা না করেই ভালো হয়।
Right. Thank you so much. Time for the Evo IX.
No worries at all.
Thank you so much.
Unrivaled quality. Journey with confidence. Mobil.
Assalamualaikum. Thank you so much again for your time.
Most welcome.
Inside the Evo IX right now. But আসলে I feel like the যারা Evo owners আছে অনেকজনের কিন্তু this Evo IX is the benchmark for them in terms of the way it looks, the way it's maintained, and mainly the engine mounts and tuning that you have done on it. So, how's your experience with this Evo IX so far?
Long experience. Bought this car back in 2016, I believe.
Okay.
So that was my first performance car. ছোটকাল থেকে আসলে ইঞ্জিন নিয়ে I'm very fascinated, so I built my first engine class 80 থাকতে.
Oh wow.
I've built a lot of engines.
Nice. Awesome.
And নিজে বানাই, আমার নিজে বানাতে খুব ভালো লাগে engines, so I built a lot of engines. I think north of 50 engines so far, but performance car first এটা দিয়ে শুরু হয়. তার আগে I used to work on regular cars.
Right.
I had a Honda Accord Inspire for 16 years.
Oh wow.
Bought it in 96.
Great car, by the way.
The 5-cylinder engine. Fascination began from there. Tuning fascination began এই গাড়ি কেনার পর থেকে, because I always thought engine তো অনেকগুলো বানালাম, so এই গাড়ি টিউন করতে চাই. So started out with the 2-liter 4063 regular engine. এই গাড়িতে খুব বড় ক্র্যাশ করা ছিল। আগের যে ওনার ছিল, he crashed the car. So আমি নিয়ে এটা র্যাঙ্কস ওয়ার্কশপে আমি কাজ করতাম। সো আমরা ঠিকঠাক করার পরে I actually bought the car from my friend. So কিনে টিনে তারপর থেকে শুরু করলাম। So first thing I did was I started learning to how to tune. অনেক ঘন্টা ধরে ভিডিও দেখে কোর্স করে শিখে টিকে এটার উপর এক্সপেরিমেন্ট করলাম নিজের গাড়ির উপরে নিজে। So obviously few things I would say Evo গাড়ির I think stock displacement 2-liter for Bangladeshi road, in my opinion, doesn't work. There's a huge turbo lag. Regular cruising there's কোনো torque নাই until the car hits 3,500.
Right.
So these are the first things I noticed. যে like regular গাড়ি চালাতে তো ভাই খুব কষ্ট. So ওখান থেকে শুরু, the first thing I did was I bought a stroker kit back in the day.
Okay.
2.3 liter stroker kit. ওটা অনেকদিন চালিয়েছি, but I think the magic sauce for this car came when I went to a 4G64 block ছেড়ে দিয়ে.
Wow.
4G64 comes in most of the Gallants.
Right.
So you can get a block. It's a 6mm taller deck. Otherwise everything is the same. Head you can use the same head and everything. Just timing need to কাজ করতে হয় because it's a taller deck. So went with a 2.5 liter kit. Right now I'm running a 2.5 liter brand Crower BC kit. With a bigger displacement, Evos are super fun. So if anybody asks me, what's the first mod I should do for the car, I would recommend get a stroker kit. Honestly, it changes the car. Regular driving, cruise driving, everything becomes super easy. Again, my philosophy for tuning was always how to make living with this proper powerful car very easy. Like I'm having a conversation driving a manual car, I don't mind.
Right.
I'm sure the car just drives normally. So ওই philosophy থেকে শুরু করে I always wanted a very low end torque, খুব quick যেন গাড়ি accelerate করে from a cruising speed rather than waiting for a huge turbo lag to come in.
Absolutely.
So ওই philosophyটা থেকে শুরু করার থেকেই মানে এই গাড়ি নিয়ে অনেক কাজ হয়েছে. So like you said before, যে অনেকে চিন্তা করে this is the benchmark. I think I was sort of the first guy who said বাংলাদেশে যে ভাই big power এর জন্য I'm not going to sacrifice a spool.
Right.
Because তার আগে a lot of the cars like Tasin Akashtar গাড়ি ছিল, they always used to go for a very big turbo kit. Precision এর বিশাল turbo ছিল. So all those cars, even on third gear, would usually spool post 4,500 to 5,000 RPM. So honestly, Dhaka রাস্তায়, হ্যাঁ মানে like if I'm cruising at this speed right now, we are say at 50 or 60, এখান থেকে আমি যদি একটু গাড়ি পুল করতে চাই, you have to wait for a long time for the turbo to kick in. So ওখানে যেটা প্রবলেম হয়, like a lot of the Evo owners used to face, যদিও কখনো বলে না, even a normal say Civic Type R, which is like 1/3 the power of your car. Right. So you're running a 500-600 odd horsepower. Civic Type R is a 200 odd horsepower car. So even then, on a say if somebody is driving very spiritedly একটা রাস্তায়, দেখা যায় যে 180-200 পর্যন্ত he was struggling to keep up with that car. The whole point was বাংলাদেশে তো আর আসলে একটানা গাড়ি টানা যায় না, because the roads are busy. অনেক ব্রেক করতে হয়, যেতে হয়. Without spool, you can't keep up. So my philosophy was, so I think that's what changed the sort of game. যে সবাই বলে যে এখন এরকম একটা গাড়ি বানাতে চায়, and I've seen a lot of people switch turbos starting from Tasin, এত বড় turbo থেকে ছোট turboতে চলে আসছে. I think Akash has also switched to an intense. So I think Evos are a lot of fun if you can start the torque very early, get a stroker engine, get a decent sized turbo. Second sort of tip for anyone looking to build an Evo, never aim for অনেক বড় টার্বো কিনে আমি 1000 horsepower করবো. Keep a realistic horsepower in mind. For example, I would recommend 400 wheel horsepower is the sweetest spot if you don't want to break your car every day, especially for a normal manual gear. 500 wheel horsepower, you're asking for trouble if you're driving very spiritedly. So just look for a turbo which will barely get you 400 horsepower if you're looking to hit that, or 500 wheel horsepower if you're looking to hit that. For example, on a stroker engine, HKS GT3 will get you there. Very sensitive turbo, saradin bhange, so be very careful. Blouch 1.0 is a better option, I think, in my book. 2.0 will get you to 500 wheel horsepower again. So don't go for massive turbos. If you go bigger than that, you're losing spool. It's all, you can't defy physics no matter what you do. So bigger turbo, late spool, choto turbo, earlier spool. So sizing the turbo to get the proper sort of power goals is very important.
Absolutely.
So এই গাড়িতে my goal was always about 500 wheel. So alhamdulillah, I've gotten to 550 actually. This car does 550 now. That's the surprising. And honestly, I think for a Blouch 2.0, that's a sort of record worldwide. I haven't seen any graphs anywhere which has hit 550. This does 550 in winter easy, 520, 530-ish. Hot summer right now. So lots of power, and I think again, spool wise, I haven't seen any car spool this fast. And interesting sort of my take on this, আমার stock turbo যখন ছিল একদম Evo stock 2 liter engine, আমি যখন ওয়াট করতাম on a third gear, I used to hit full boost about 3400 RPM, 3350-ish RPM.
Okay.
So 9 years down the line with a big turbo and triple the power, I still hit full boost on third gear 3400 RPM.
Wow.
I hit 33 PSI boost on 400
35
RPM.
PSI, oh my god.
33.4, 34 PSI-ish. Like I said, I'm a 3.2 bar guy. I haven't switched to a 4 bar. ছিল আমার এক সময় 2 বার নষ্ট হয়েছে. I got stranded on the road for it once. I'm never buying it again. So yeah, 33.4 is the limit for this 3.2 bar. So 33.4 all the way to 6.5, and then tapering to 31. So ওই দিক থেকে I think so. That's sort of in summary. Everybody likes this car because it spools very quick, goes very fast, and has a big horsepower at the top end as well. Which usually Bangladesh সবাই মনে করতে is not possible. In order to get a 500 wheel horsepower, you have to sacrifice a lot of things.
A lot of things, right,
including drivability. গাড়ি half the time started থাকে না, ক্লাচ করে ধাক্কায় আগায়। I remember আমি অবশ্য আগে কাউকে চিনতাম না ইভো গাড়িতে, অনেক পরে যে এসানের সাথে আমার ফার্স্ট পরিচয় হয়, we used to exchange a lot of notes on tuning. He is self-tuned as well. But পরের দিকে যখন তাসিন সবার সাথে পরিচয় হয়, তাসিনের গাড়ি স্টার্টে থাকতো না কোনো দিন। This is always to stall. I'm like, how are you driving this? He's like, nah bro, এটা কিন্তু 700 horsepower গাড়িতে এগুলো normal. I'm like, wow, I've never heard of that. But yeah, so I think that's what changed the game sort of.
Nice, absolutely. আমরা যেটা বলছিলাম about the Evo X যে কি changes and mods করা হয়েছে, so about this Evo IX. Similar like
I think what I'll do is I'll try to give you a full mod list so that you can put up on your YouTube page.
Right.
লাগিয়ে দিও, I think a lot of people who's looking to mod their cars can take some hints from that.
Sure.
But একটা short বলতে 5 মিনিট লাগবে। তারপরেও বলি, starting again, this car has a HKS intake box, but however the intake DSM এর যে আমেরিকাতে K&N যে কিটটা বেচে, it fits like a glove in that. So that's a tip, and it's a very nice filter. It's a big size filter. So DSM এর কিট লাগানো আছে গাড়িতে inside the HKS box from K&N. Again, intake manifold is changed. Skunk to our intake manifold. Fantastic stuff. I think I gained at least 20 wheels from that manifold alone. Throttle body মাঝখানে আমার ছিল S90, but I've switched back to stock throttle bodies. Throttle body I haven't seen any gain. Stock throttle body চালাতে একটু শান্তি because the pedal is a little softer. Accelerator pedal, aftermarket is a little tighter. পরে of course head পুরাটা কাজ করা from Head Games. Big shout out, fantastic company. হেডে কোনো কাজ করা থাকলে I would highly recommend, please go to them. HKS এর cam 272, 278. Again, my choice of cam for both the cars. I prefer smooth idling, like glass, like a stock car, over massive power at the top.
Right, absolutely.
So this car will do another maybe 20 wheel horsepower more at the very top end if I go for a very aggressive cam like a Tomei Pro cam or June or somebody else, or GS Series S3, S2. But again, I prefer a fantastic idle over a 20 wheel horsepower gain at the top end, which nobody will notice other than dyno sheets any day. So HKS cams, yeah. 2.5 liter BC kit, stroker kit, self-assembled again. Manifold is again from Artec. I do have a Jacksoner manifold ordered. I really want to try it out in the future. Hopefully আরো 4 মাস পরে আসবে. They take 9 months to make it. I've put an order about 4 months back. So that's the only mod left in this car which I want to try out. বাকি everything I've tried and done, আর কিছু ধরার নেই. Manifold obviously dump pipe and front pipe পুরোটা Artec-এর, and front pipe থেকে শুরু করে বাকি পুরাটাই 3.5 inch exhaust. Some of it is made by me, but the main 3.5 inch exhaust I bought from Australian company, নামটা কেন ভুলে গেলাম. Very nice guy, Speed, yeah, Chris Lam, fantastic guy. GTR এর coil kit লাগানো আছে এই গাড়িতে. Again, very expensive but extremely good coil kit. But again, if you're trying to run a very high plug gap, আমি 0.031 use করি এই মুহূর্তে inch in terms of plug gap, very high. Usual recommendation is 22 থেকে 25. If you want to stay with that, stock coil kits are fantastic. বাংলাদেশে আমি একটাই খুঁজে পাই না যে স্টক কয়েল কিট আছে। সবগুলোর কয়েল নষ্ট হয় বিকজ করোলার কয়েল লাগায়, দ্যাটস নট ডিজাইন ফর সাচ হাই হিট, সকাল বিকাল নষ্ট হয়। প্লিজ স্টে উইথ দ্য কয়েল কিট, মাই সাজেশন। Everybody's car pushing 500 plus wheels, Zaire, Anas is on a stock coil kit. ওদের জীবনে ঝামেলা নাই। It's a myth you need to change coil kits. Never. আমারটা আমি লাগাইছি GTR just because I want to run a higher plugger gap, again for tuning reasons, a little bit better idling, cruising আর একটু lean চালানো যায় গাড়ি. If you don't require that, don't spend your money on that. What else? Fuel system again পুরোটা রেডিয়ামের with a 525 drop-in pump. এই গাড়ির জন্য আমার both the coil kit and the fuel এর জন্য পুরো আমার নিজের কাস্টম রিওয়ায়ার করতে হয়েছে with my design. I do use Omron relays on this. 4টা রিলে আছে গাড়িতে এক্সট্রা. That's needed. Unfortunately কিছু করার নাই. Nissan GTR coil kits require 12 ampere করে একটা coil, so it's not designed for this car. You need to get a extra wiring for that. Again, you do need wiring for this car for the fuel system. 10 এ লাগবে না unless you're going dual pump and stuff. Again, another myth, you never need dual pump unless you're hitting more than 600-700 wheel horsepower. Just get a good tuner. Whoever says a dual pump ছাড়া 500 wheel horsepower hit করতে পারবে না, I think change your tuner. So both my cars are running on 525 with a entire 6AN and 8AN line লাগানো আছে, both return line and feed line. So that works really well. That works really well for me, honestly. এই তো আর অনেক গেজেস আনিসে আছে। আর টিউনিং নিয়ে একটু বলে নিতে চাই, obviously আমার Tefra 8859 ROM, I think that's the best ROM in terms of mod because অনেক অপশন আছে। That's a US ROM, JDM ROM না unfortunately. So একটু tinker করতে হবে to get rid of the check lights. But sort of best ROM you can get because lots of options আছে. So yeah, happy with that. এখনো stock CU-তে আছি, but I think for this car in the future when I get unlazy, I will want to switch ECU. I will try out so I have a link in stock. I think I will switch over একটা সময় at some point of time. But yeah, so I think that's the mod list for now, sort of.
Nice, mashallah. Yeah, but in general, I feel like মানে আপনি যেগুলো বললেন, it took অনেক বছর experience and trial and error
Yes.
to get আপনি এখানে আসেন. So
Whole 9 years.
Exactly. So it's not like it happened overnight.
Nah, true. It took me a lot of time.
It's actually a very hard challenge for you as well, I think. It took time. Yeah, but in general, আমরা যদি আবার Evo 10 নিয়ে আবার একটু কথা বলে থাকি, I feel like for sure definitely Evo 10 থেকে আপনার Evo 10 থেকে compare করে this is a lot more raw.
Yeah.
A lot more raw, and your Evo 10 felt like the most refined Evo I've ever been in my life, honestly.
Thank you.
এটা ওটা যদি compare করলে it feels like I'm ready to race. ওরকম টাইপ একটা ফিল দেয়।
True.
So at least compared to your Evo, এটার সাথে আপনার কি খারাপ ভালো যদি কিছু compare করতে
9 again, I think sound insulation is very subpar, but অনেকে এটা পছন্দ করে, but I like a quiet cabin, so I wish this had a better sound insulation, to be very honest.
Okay.
But yeah, as it is, nothing like it. On a straight line braking, এই গাড়িতে I had to upgrade the brakes. I'm on a Willwood 6 spots. On the 10, I'm on the stock calipers. Just brake disc upgrade kora. It's a Dixeler disc and a Type Z Dixeler brake pads. Fantastic stuff. This is on a Willwood BP20 up front, BP10 at the rear. So I had to upgrade the brakes. I'm a stock brake garite. I wasn't so confident, but saying that, a few people actually drive the car very hard and are happy with the stock brakes, like Zaire. He uses a DS2500 brake pads, is happy with that, but I needed to change it. Straight line speed, braking, I think 10 is a little better. In terms of speed, bolte jeta ashole bujhacchi, feeling more comfortable. Like at 200 you wouldn't feel it.
Right.
This feels like it's at 100 it's going at 200
Right.
because of less sound insulation, to be very honest. But again, cornering, I think this car is better. Just because it's much lighter. That car feels a little bulky, like I'm driving a modern gari. This is যে আমলে ছিল, মানে ওই আমলে অত ক্র্যাশ ট্যাশের জন্য এত কিছু রুলস ছিল না, so less safe if you're on a crash on this car. 10 is more safer, but yeah, I think otherwise that's the first comparison. 10 এর turning radius একটু better থেকে, both are horrible, but this is more horrible. 10 এর take 2 better, to be very honest. Again, my cribbing about manual gear will never stop. Don't like it, don't buy. People will shoot me for this, but it breaks. You can't fix it. You can't fix it unless you go, I don't know, talk here Bangladesh চালানো যায় না আসলে।
in stock for manual is fine, right? মানে কেউ যদি stock
Bro,
রাখতে চায়,
honestly 400 wheel পর্যন্ত you are fine. That's my experience. আমার 430 wheel horsepower পর্যন্ত জীবনও gearbox ভাঙে নাই. Passing that 500 তে আমার দুইটা gearbox ভাঙছে। Second time ভাঙার পরে I've moved on to a 5 speed. 6 speed, I really wanted to stay in 6 speed. I thought it was a little bit sweeter, 6 speed, but the shifts were a little bit crisper. Not that 5 is that bad, but pari nahi, 6 speed drive, because I spent a lot of money on getting a very expensive 3rd and 4th gear for the 6 speed. Ticketing about a year and a half, and amarta jeta brake korche like on a watt pull at 7,000 rpm, it broke. It wasn't like I was shifting, so purely torsional pressure এর জন্য ভেঙে গেছে জিনিস, সো ওটা আসলে আর হবে না। আই হোপ দ্য 5 স্পিড লাস্টস। আই হ্যাভ মাই ডাউটস এভরি টাইম, টানি আমার মনে হয় যে ভাঙে হাতে চলে আসবে। সো কান্ট স্টপ ক্রিমিং অ্যাবাউট দ্যাট। 9 এর এগেন 10 এর থেকে ড্রাইভ ট্রেন ইজ আ লিটল উইকার, both the front and the rear diffs are a little weaker. যদিও দুটাতে আমি এখন এই মুহূর্তে আপগ্রেডেড wheel and pinion ইউজ করতেছি. I hope this lasts. Problem diffে আমার মনে প্রবলেম করবে না because it's been a long time I've changed. কোন ঝামেলা হয় নাই. The gearbox I just switched over I think less than 8 months.
Oh, আচ্ছা.
So yeah, that's about it. 9 and 10. But both are lovely cars to drive.
Absolutely.
দিনের শেষে it puts a smile on your face.
Right.
সারাদিন কাজ করে বাসায় যাওয়ার সময় if you're driving home and with your car puts a smile on your face. That's about it.
Absolutely. Because, I feel like the main purpose of these cars are to put a smile on your face, right? So আসলে ওইটা ছাড়া তো কোনো reason নাই, And যদি Evo 9 এ 3 pros and 3 cons share করতে পারেন.
ECU, drivetrain, and turning radius. These are 3 cons.
3 cons.
Pros হচ্ছে গিয়ে this car takes boost a little better I think than the 10.
আচ্ছা.
That's one. More boost happy.
Okay.
Although I'm running a lower compression on this. This is a 8.5 custom pistons on this. Okay. I've got a 9 compression on the 10. Boost happy, takes more power, and very surprisingly, এটা আমি জীবনে চিন্তা করি নাই, but this car per pound of boost makes more power than the 10.
Oh wow.
I'm running the exact sort of boost right now at 10. Similar timing. 10 is doing 480, 500. This is doing 550. So I think that's a sort of difference.
Right.
Which I never thought would happen. সবাই বলে যে 10 এর power বানানো is easier, but so far no. But 10 is a newer platform for me. দেখা যাক 1-2 বছর পরে I might change my mind, but so far this car makes more power.
Right. এই তেলে কি শর্ট পুল করা যাবে না?
Yeah, of course.
এখানে করবেন না অন্য জায়গায় করবেন?
এখানেই this car is built for this, brother. You don't need a long stretch. So first gear don't want to break stuff, honestly. Yeah, you guys are ready? বলো আমাকে.
Ready. Probably the fastest shortest pull I've done. It's insane.
Okay, একটা pull করে দেখাই এদিকে দাও, last one.
Please.
But do check out the speed meter, কত মজা লাগে দেখতে. It's a lot of fun. This car gains speed like crazy. Sorry,
no problem.
Second gear now. So yeah. Anywhere on the road. Like this is a middle of the Carsandconversation Avenue.
Exactly.
Just go. So অত কোনো ঝামেলা নাই.
Crazy. Because সবার ওই যে যেটা বলছিলাম যে সবার একটা থাকে ভয় থাকে যে I need space and জায়গা লাগবে, control environment লাগবে, but this is more like on the go type of thing.
মানে আমার কথা হচ্ছে both the cars 10 I would like to make it a little sharper. I might go one step down on turbo, but let's see.
But wow, mashallah, something.
How do you like the exhaust?
Fantastic.
Isn't it nice?
Fantastic.
অনেক জোস. Both the cars তোমার on the exhaust. It's a very nice note. It's not obnoxious. বাইরে নাকি apparently অনেক সাউন্ড করে আমার টায়ার বলছে. It's like insanely loud outside, but I don't care. গাড়ির ভিতরে we are fine.
From my point of view, I think the car is perfect. Honestly, আপনার যেটা Evo 10টা ছিল ওরকমই, but এমনি তো any future plans if you have in mind?
Well, immediately for this car, I do have to get a clutch cover. I think the clutch is almost slipping.
Okay.
So this has got an ATS clutch, again triple plate carbon. So there's American website over there, একটাই model as triple plate carbon, so I bought that.
Okay.
Although from Japan, but পরে আমি Japanese website যখন ঢুকছিলাম for buying a few parts for the clutch, I saw there's a 1350 kg version. The American side only says 1300 kg clamp force version is there.
Okay.
So I just bought a 1350 clamp, just the cover. So ওইটা লাগাবো, just to a little bit more insurance. I don't want it to slip. So ওইটা একটা কাজ আছে immediately. So hopefully I was waiting for you to shoot the video. Most likely আজকে বা কালকে গাড়ি পাঠিয়ে দিব. Not a big work, maybe a day. আর এর বাইরে I really want to try out the manifold. So ওইটা like I said I ordered. Will take a lot of time to come. ওইটা ছাড়া আর কোনো কাজ নেই. I don't think I want to touch anything on this. Very fast spooling, goes very quick.
Very quick.
Yeah, so everything is decent on this. So খুব একটা বেশি কিছু আসলে ধরেন নেই.
No. The way it is, honestly, it's absolutely perfect.
Yeah, drives like a daily driver.
It does. Thank you so much again for everything.
Thank you for taking the time and coming over. Obviously,
thank you so much. We had a great time.
Thank you so much. So and I think one last message to all the guys Evo jara kore.
Please.
I think read up on whatever you want to do. অনেক মানুষ বাংলাদেশে অনেক কমেন্ট করে. Few of them, but most of them maybe are very knowledgeable. বাট অনেক আমি দেখেছি কমেন্ট করে অনেক কিছু নিজে এক্সপিরিয়েন্স না করে বা নিজে গাড়িতে না করে বেসড অন জাস্ট few Snapchat reels or Instagram reels. So I think avoid that. If you're putting your money down for your own car, hard-earned money, read up on it. আমি কিন্তু যা করছি শিখছি bro, everything I just read up on it. It's not like I did a PhD on Evos and whatnot from a magical university. So my recommendation is read up on it. আমি যদি সোশ্যালসে একদমই নাই বাট খুব রিসেন্টলি ইনস্টাগ্রামে একটা অ্যাকাউন্ট করেছি. You can ask me questions over there if you have any questions. Most happy to help.
Absolutely.
But otherwise, in general, read up on cars, read up on stuff you want to do, and then invest your money. That's a safe bet. Rather than listening to a lot of people who claims have done a lot of things but doesn't own an Evo. So I think Ogula Teke staying away from that is a better option.
Absolutely. Thank you so much again.
Thank you.
Had a great time. Thank you so much.